All right, good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rod Bove. I'm the CAO for the city. I'm very pleased to be here this morning for this special announcement, and I'll be directing traffic here at the podium. I'm very happy to be here with Mayor Panchuk and with President Jamie Chatton of the Belleville Agricultural Society. And I'm also joined today by members of Belleville City Council. So if I could ask councillors to please stand when I read your name. Councillor Paul Carr, Councillor Kelly McCaw, Councillor Bill Sanderson, Councillor Ryan Williams, Councillor Pat Culhane, Councillor Chris Millett, Councillor Sean Kelly, and Councillor Garnet Thompson. Thank you for being here. I would now like to recognize members of the Belleville Agricultural Society Board that are here today. President Jamie Chatton, Second Vice President Bobby Jarrell, Wayne Waite, Carl Huffman, Wilma Huffman, Rick McIver, Stephanie Shaw, Mona Tuman-Lyon, Jack Alexander, and Rick Caddick. Thank you all for being here today. We are also joined today by our local member of provincial parliament, Minister Todd Smith is here. And I'd like to call on Todd to come up and say a few words.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's great to see you here at the Quinte Sports and Wellness Center. And Your Worship, big announcement today, very exciting. And to all the council members and everybody from the Agricultural Society that's worked so hard on this, it's great to see this coming to fruition. And I know the cat is somewhat out of the bag, but I look forward to the announcement anyway, nonetheless. As your member of provincial parliament and the Minister of Children, Community and Social Services, we've been working extremely hard throughout COVID to make sure that we're providing supports where possible to different organizations, to individuals, and of course to our healthcare system to make sure that we're getting through this. And I know there are so many people that were looking forward and were very disappointed in the fact that we couldn't have the fall fair this year at Sydney and Bridge. But we look forward to having fall fairs in the future, quite possibly at a brand new location. And we have been trying to put forward as much support as we can to the Ontario Agricultural Society and make sure that there's funding available to get those fall fairs through this tough time and make sure that there will be many, many more great years of fall fairs to come. There are so many families here. It's great to look out and see everybody who's been so instrumental in keeping the Quinte Agricultural Society Fall Fair and the Quinte Exhibition going, and the Belleville Agricultural Society going for years, and you know, the Geralds and the Beers and the Tumans, and I'm going to get in trouble because there's so many great names out there that have been so involved in keeping this fair running every year, and each year we have the opportunity at Boston Pizza to congratulate our volunteers of the year and those who have gone the extra mile to make sure that the fair that year was a success. So I'm really excited about today's announcement. I know you are too, and look forward to many Quinte exhibition for years to come. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Todd. I would now like to call upon former Mayor and Member of Parliament, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Neil Ellis.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today, and congratulations, we got this done. I know it's something that was on my plate when I was mayor, and congratulations that we have a great, well, I guess I can't say the announcement, but great news to come soon. I'd like to take this special opportunity to recognize the significant contribution of agriculture and agriculture societies to our communities in Canada. Our community and our quality of life is dependent on the agriculture sector and all the Canadians who work day to day out to feed us, employ us, and move our economy forward. Agriculture Canada is a major contributor to our well-being. It's grateful to be a role of Parliamentary Secretary for the Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food that provides the opportunity to meet, interact with, and see the hard work that farmers all over our country are putting in despite this pandemic. COVID-19 has put many challenges before the agriculture industry. Fortunately, providing support close to home and doing incredibly important work is the Belleville Agricultural Society, who continue to make sure our farmers are well supported. The Belleville Agricultural Society has a vibrant history in the area, and I'm pleased to be here to welcome a new chapter in its long history. As a source of leadership, resources, communication, and education for the agricultural community, the Belleville Agricultural Society has been a source of all-around support. Even if we did not get to celebrate the Quinte X this year, I know families all over the area look forward to when you reopen your doors. We are excited to celebrate this milestone with you. Thank you, and all the best.
I would now like to call upon Morton Phillips from Hastings County to say a few words.
Morning, everyone. I know the mayor knows that I like surprises, and that's why I was invited here today. And then I read the Belleville paper this morning, and not a surprise anymore. Anyway, it's great news. Thank you, Your Worship, and Panchuk and President Jamie Chatton of the Belleville Agricultural Society for inviting me here today for this special announcement regarding the future of the Belleville Agricultural Society. Rural agricultural fairs are the fabric of who each of our communities are and gives us all a chance to show that in many different ways. Hastings County has many fairs and exhibitions that show both the similarities and the differences between each of our communities. The main theme I believe we all share is how important agriculture is to all of us. The livestock competitions, including the 4-H clubs, the various other organizations, the fruits, the vegetables, the flowers, not to mention the baking that is provided for view and for sale. Throw in the carnival atmosphere of the Midway, and you have the perfect recipe for both urban and rural residents and friends to meet and enjoy all that this great country has to offer. Fairs provide lasting memories for all of us. At the World's Fair in my home municipality in Tyndall Township and at the Belleville Fair, I remember my 4-H experiences. I remember going to the Belleville Fair it was an annual event for all of our families that we seldom miss. Many of us will remember as kids seeing Bobby Hall and the cattle, and I think I had 10 autographs, one for each year that Bobby was there. That was an annual event for all of us. My point is that local fairs play a huge part in all of our communities. And I want to thank all the fair boards and all the agricultural societies that work so hard to bring them to all of us year after year. Hastings County Council congratulates Mayor Panchuk and his council, President Chatton and his board, for what this special announcement will mean for the future of the Belleville Agricultural Society and for the surrounding area. Your foresight in preserving and advancing the history of the Belleville Agricultural Society and Belleville Exhibition for future generations is to be commended. Thank you very much.
We are fortunate today to be joined by the manager of the Ontario Agricultural Society, Mr. Vince Brennan, and I would now ask Mr. Brennan to please come to the podium.
Thank you for the introduction. Thank you, Mayor Panchuk and President Quinte Exhibition for the opportunity to address you here today. And note leading into this, I was asked to kind of give a high-level overview of agricultural societies and Quinte Exhibition in particular. I am the manager of the Ontario Association of Agricultural Societies, and I am pleased to bring greetings and congratulations on behalf of the association to Belleville Agricultural Society on this special announcement that will happen here today, moving to Thurlow Township. The OAS and many of our agricultural societies are among the oldest organizations in Ontario and Canada. Their fairs are a tradition that is older than Canada itself. 60% of agricultural societies were established before Canada's Confederation. The Belleville Agricultural Society will be celebrating their 200th anniversary in 2021, with the first fair being held October 1st, 1821. This is a monumental achievement and one you should be very proud of. It is a testament to your resilience that Belleville is the second oldest agricultural society in Ontario and the third oldest in Canada. Congratulations. Over the years, the society has been known under several different titles, and in 1907, it was named to Belleville Fair. The first Midway appeared in 1912. Belleville Agricultural Society has been well represented on the Ontario Association Society boards with Mr. Ben Bleeker from Thurlow Township, an icon from all my time there, and a special note, Janet Hamilton, that was past president of the OAS as well, that was part of Quinte Exhibition, although not living in Belleville or Thurlow. But many of our directors were that way as well. The role of early agricultural societies was to improve agriculture, local areas by importing livestock, seeds, implements, and in many cases, agricultural societies acted as cooperatives for local farmers to produce or make available materials. Our agricultural societies and their fairs provide an opportunity for families and communities to reconnect and for people to learn about agriculture and find out where their food is produced. Agricultural societies bring a significant financial and other benefits to their communities. Financial benefits include revenue generated by visitors and exhibitors, as well as the money that the agricultural societies spend in their communities. It is an estimate that the Ontario Agricultural Societies have an economic benefit between $640 and $700 million in Ontario last year. The Tourism Regional Economic Impact Module indicates that the Ontario Agricultural Societies bring in nearly $370 million in tourism related to their communities. Quinte Exhibition holds so many great memories for me. I began showing my 4-H calves in the 1970s at Belleville Fair and continue to exhibit our dairy cattle every year for nearly 40 years. I became involved with the Agricultural Society when I was in high school, when Lyle Van Cleef, Bob Burns, or Burl Summers, or all of the ones asked me to become a junior director at that time. I was involved as a director and chairman of the Cattle Committee 4-H Championship Show for many years, and I'm honored to be a life director today with Quinte Exhibition. Why go to the fair, you might ask? People come home from afar to go to the fair because of its family tradition. Fairs welcome and help new people to get involved in their communities. Fairs provide incentives to improve and strive for excellence, whether it be livestock, field crops, baking, crafts, or canning. Our agricultural societies are big sponsors of our local 4-H programs throughout Ontario, providing the venue for judges, 4-H achievement days, livestock, poultry, agricultural, and horticultural shows, as well as our many home craft exhibits. These events expand the quality of life for people living in the area. We raise awareness and profile of the agricultural sector and industry. We hold deep cultural roots and traditions within our communities. Generations of families have been involved as volunteers, participants, or visitors. We offer real, authentic experiences to all. In closing, for many years, Belleville Fair / Quinte Exhibition was considered to be one of the 9 largest fairs in Ontario, and I'm really happy to learn that Belleville Fair is working with the City of Belleville to get a new site for Quinte Exhibition, and here's to celebrating another 250 years in the future. Congratulations.
Thank you for all the speakers today and your greetings. Before we we move on, I'd like to recognize a special guest here today. Former Federal Minister of Agriculture, Lyle Van Cleef, is here today. Thank you for coming. And just so I don't get in trouble later, I should recognize my mom's here as well. So. And her better half, Mr. Bob Burkett. Thanks for coming. I will now hand the podium over to Mayor Panchuk, who will be delivering the highly anticipated news of the future of the Belleville Agricultural Society.
Well, thank you very much, Rod, and thank you all for being here today. It is my great pleasure to share the stage for this important announcement with Jamie Chatton, President of the Belleville Agricultural Society. It's also my pleasure to welcome members of Belleville City Council and members of the board of the Belleville Ag Society. I also want to welcome former mayors, former Mayor Ellis and former councilors. Kay Manderville is here, as well as past presidents and honorary members of the society for this exciting news. The work of all of you has truly paved the way for today. Before I get to my comments, I do want to take this opportunity to first say thank you to everyone who has done the planning for this supervised event. Thank you to Martha and Sarah, as well as Sarah and all the staff, as well as Steve and all the staff here at the Quinte Sports and Wellness Center under the supervision of Acting Director Peter Ling. Thank you to our communication staff, and a very special thank you to a terrific person who has been an amazing and loyal long-term employee of the Quinte Exhibition and Ag Society, Mr. Marty Cousins. Thank you, Marty. It is a great honor for me to be able to announce this morning that the City of Belleville and the Belleville Agricultural Society have come to an agreement to relocate their activities and operations from the current Belleville Fairgrounds property on Sydney Street. This agreement is the product of negotiations which have spawned multiple city councils terms and truly represents a win-win situation for both of our organizations. It is the start of a new tomorrow for the Ag Society as they now confidently look towards their next 200 years. I need to start by thanking some people for today's monumental achievement. There were a lot of reasons why our talks to get this deal would have been easy to walk away from. It was complicated, and there was a great deal of history to overcome, and a relationship that, quite frankly, had become increasingly frayed with successive mayors and city councils since the loss of horse racing. But we persevered, and I am glad for that. 200 years of history deserve the extra effort to find solutions. This agreement represents a fresh start for both the Belleville Ag Society and for the city as we redevelop the current site that they will be vacating. I want to thank President Jamie Chatton and the BAS board for this agreement. In particular, I want to thank Bobby Jarrell, Ross Parks, and Rick McIver, who were part of their negotiation team along with President Chatton. I also want to thank Belleville City Council for their ability to see the potential that comes with today's announcement. This is a bold achievement for a council which has already accomplished an impressive list of improvements for our city. It is also a testament to what and how much can be accomplished with collaborative leadership and a willingness to work through obstacles. Councillors Paul Carr and Kelly McCaw and I serve on the Fairgrounds Property Use Committee, tasked with these negotiations, and they provided excellent oversight and suggestions to keep this process moving. I thank them for their work and their support, as well as the resources that were provided to the committee and council by our Director of Corporate Services, Matt McDonald. I also want to thank former councillors Jack Miller and Edgerton Boyce, who along with Councillor McCaw were members of the Fairgrounds Property Use Committee in 2016, which brokered a deal with the Society for the portion of the property where the former Ben Bleecker building was situated. The work of that committee and the previous council set the stage for us to take up that torch this term. And lastly, I want to say a very special thank you to my friend, Robert Jarrell Sr. Bob assisted us greatly in acquiring the land from the Boyce family for the new site. Bob is a past president of the Society and has been a strong supporter of mine from the very beginning. Over the years, we knew this was necessary for both parties, and I appreciate Bob's support and assistance in getting us here. This new site was his idea, and I am grateful for that assistance. Today we are announcing that the Belleville Ag Society will be moving to a new site as they begin their second 200-year period on land immediately north of Black Diamond Road and east of Highway 37 in the Thurlow ward of the city of Belleville. This land was owned by the family of the late Roy Boyce, who was an enthusiastic horseman, harness racer, and supporter of the Belleville Ag Society prior to his passing. The BAS will have exclusive use to a 25 to 30 acre parcel of land and a new building, which will be constructed to allow for year-round activities. This will set the stage for a renaissance of this organization, which is the second oldest fair board in Ontario and only the third oldest in all of Canada. The very first Belleville Fair was held on October 1st, 1821. The only two older fairs in Canada are the Hants County Fair in Windsor, Nova Scotia, which started in 1756, and the St. Lawrence Valley Fair in 1812. The Belleville Fair, which we now know as the Quinte Exhibition and Fall Fair, was originally started by local pioneers, including Captain John W. Myers, who first settled Myers Creek, and for which Belleville had its first name and was since renamed after our city. Captain Myers was a vice president and exhibitor of that first fair in 1821. He won 3 prizes and earned $3 in prize money, and he died just 1 month following that success. Over the years, it has been known as the Hastings Committee of the Midland District Agricultural Society. In 1849 was called the Victoria District Fair and Cattle Show. In 1860, the Bay of Quinte District Fair. In 1861 as the South Hastings Agricultural Society, and since 1954 it has been known as the Belleville Fair on the current site. The annual Fall Fair evolved into horse racing, horse and cattle shows, motorcycle races with the legendary Norm Car Classic, demolition derbies, concerts, and many other activities for the benefit of Belleville residents and to showcase our agricultural roots. It has been a partnership between the city and the Ag Society, and we have both benefited greatly. On May 1st, 1954, Mayor John Both and the Belleville Parks Commission, represented by then-President Ben Bleeker, entered into a 99-year lease between the city and the Society for the current fairgrounds property. Ben Bleeker was a member of the Belleville Ag Society from 1917 and was the only Belleville resident in our history who served as president of the Ontario Association of Agricultural Societies, with his term starting in 1950. This agreement that we are announcing today will see the Society end their lease with the city on the Bridge Street West and Sydney Street property and enter into a new 50-year lease at the new location. The City of Belleville will be able to develop this existing fully serviced site, which will continue to be the home of the Quinte Curling Club. We have made no decisions regarding the future development of the rest of the property at the current site, other than having committed 5 acres for the new YMCA building, which will proceed when funding from upper levels of government is announced. I'm happy to have Neil Ellis and Todd Smith here in the audience. Hint, hint. A public process to determine how to make use of those lands will be started soon, but we envision a mix of commercial, residential, and community recreation and parkland space. The new site off of Highway 37 will be much more appropriate for the activities of the Ag Society. Conveniently located closer to the 401, farther away from major population, and in an agriculturally zoned area. This will allow the Society the ability to refocus on their agricultural roots with a new 37,500 square foot building, which will allow for many activities, including fully sanctioned horse shows, and will be the only event building of its kind between Toronto and Ottawa. The Belleville Ag Society will be embarking on a full business review to determine the exact extent of new programming and activities as part of this agreement. To acquire this new site, the city has purchased 60 acres, and we will sell the remaining land for commercial and light industrial development. We expect the property to sell very well, particularly as those lots will be fully serviced. Extensive site work, including clearing the land, servicing, tendering, and construction of the building will be undertaken by the city and will start immediately based on the Memorandum of Understanding which both organizations have formally provided authorization to enter into. Financially, this is a win-win situation for both parties. The city will provide the site and the building and will lease them to the Belleville Ag Society. This is similar to how we deal with some other organizations, including the Lawn Bowling Club. The City of Belleville will be protected in our investment by retaining ownership of the lands and this initial building. The Ag Society will have their interests protected by having an unrestricted lease to permit them to use the site year-round. They will have sufficient term to allow them to add structures and improvements with enough time to ensure proper depreciation and amortization. City taxpayers will not be financing this move, nor the improvements or the new building at the new location. The value of the property we will be able to sell at both sites will more than offset the associated costs, and there will be considerable tax revenues generated at these properties. Those future tax revenues will benefit the residents of Belleville for many years to come. It is truly a significantly valuable decision for all concerned and allows us to retain the rich history of this important partner. I am grateful for having had this opportunity to be part of such a positive development for our entire community. This is a great day in Belleville's history and a proud achievement for all involved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Panchuk. I'd now like to call on President Jamie Chatton to speak on behalf of the Belleville Agricultural Society.
Good morning. Thank you for everyone to be able to come today. Welcome to the Belleville Agricultural and the City of Belleville's big announcement. I would like to thank the city's negotiating team and City Council along with BAS negotiating team and our directors for completing this deal. There were bumps along the way, however, we all worked hard together to see this deal come through. We are excited to move to our new facility and be able to provide a wide range of events, not just a fall fair like in the past. The move out of the city opens up a lot of new avenues we weren't able to do in the past. We plan on having a wide range of events all year round, which will provide more entertainment and excitement for the city of Belleville and its surrounding areas. It will be a new way of doing business for the Belleville Agricultural Society than in the past. For years, we had horse racing to rely on our grounds that paid most of our bills. Since then, it's been tough to make money only running a few events a year. The way the new lease is laid out, we will be able to offer rentals of buildings 365 days a year for just about any event. As the Belleville Ag Society is closing in on our 200th year in business, we are hopeful the next 200 years will bring lots of opportunities for Belleville Ag Society and the citizens of Belleville. At this time, I would like to thank all our supporters and sponsors for their continued support in the past and looking forward to working with you in the future. Again, over the next several years, on a final note, on behalf of the Belleville Ag Society, I would like to thank all our past executives, directors, volunteers for their time and dedication for all the years they have put in to make what the Belleville Ag Society is today. Again, I want to thank everyone for attending today. Turn it back over to Rod.
Thank you, President Chatton. Now I would like to call upon Councillor Paul Carr to say a few words. Paul was a member of the negotiating committee.
Thank you, Mr. Bobe, and Thank you, Mayor Panchuk, and I also want to acknowledge Councillor McCaw with the negotiating committee. What a great day in the city of Belleville. And, you know, it's been mentioned and talked about our history, and agriculture is the foundation of the city of Belleville. And it needs to be highlighted, it needs to be preserved. And with this announcement, we have an opportunity to do just that, as has been said. And what great place to have it other than on the doorstep of our rural community and in Ward 2. And I'm very proud to see that. I'd like to thank President Chatton as well as the negotiating team and other members of the Belleville Agricultural Society for having faith in the city of Belleville to continue this partnership. And although it looks a little different, it's modernized, and we have a great opportunity here to preserve our past, but also look forward to a great future. And I think it's so important, again, with agriculture being the root of our community, the foundation of our community, that the Agricultural Society has an opportunity now to highlight agriculture 365 days of the year for many years to come. So congratulations, and this is a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Carr. I'd now like to ask Councillor Kelly McCaw, also from the Fairgrounds Negotiating Committee, to come to the podium.
Good morning. I guess the mayor and Councillor Carr stole all my talking points. However, I also would like to say what an exciting day it is to be not only a councillor in the city of Belleville, but a resident here in the city of Belleville as well. It's been a long time coming, but I always had faith that one day we'd be here celebrating not only the move from the existing site, but from my perspective, a complete transformation of the operations of the Belleville Agricultural Society. The success of this partnership really comes down to the mutual respect and trust that we have forged between the city and the BAS. I can honestly say it's been a pleasure, truly a pleasure, dealing with every member of the board and President Chatton. When I was first appointed to the committee last term, we had set out to complete a two-stage agreement. The first was to see the Agricultural Society move from the Ben Bleecker site over to the west side of Sydney Street. From that, today what we're seeing is the beginning of the final stage of what will be a pivotal move. A wise woman once said, "You cannot step into the future without having a foot in the past." I think the wise woman was Lisa Panchuk. That phrase rings true today as we celebrate the past 200 successful years of the Belleville Agricultural Society. And now we're going to take a welcome step forward for the future 200 years, success in their new home on Black Diamond Road. A special thanks to President Chatton and all the volunteer members of the Belleville Agricultural Society for your stewardship and unwavering support for this organization. Without your complete dedication, we wouldn't be here today. And I should also mention Mr. Marty Cousins. He's been there a long time, maybe not 200 years, but at least 87. And doesn't he look great? That said, I understand Mr. Cousins is all things and the keeper of all things with respect to the Belleville Agricultural Society. I personally look forward to a continued successful partnership. And I've heard there are some new and creative ideas in store for the Belleville Agricultural Society, and I welcome those new changes and the new programming looking forward, and I guess we'll all stay tuned for that. Thank you again, and congratulations to the Belleville Agricultural Society.
Thanks, Councillor McCaw. Before we move on, one name that I don't think has been mentioned today, I'd like to recognize. You know, this has been talked about for a long time, and there's been a lot of changes in the council reps, and I'm sure on the Agricultural Society as well. But one constant in the whole process has been Mr. Matt McDonald, sitting over here in the corner, who is the city's Director of Corporate Services, and he's done a great job providing support to this whole process. So thanks, Matt. With that, I'll call up Matt to come forward. The Mayor and President Chatton will now sign the Memorandum of Understanding. Right, I'll now hand the microphone back over to Mayor Panchuk for some closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Rod, and congratulations, Jamie. You have pushed this over the line, and we certainly appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, today is October the 22nd, and this date for this announcement was chosen for a reason. It was 2 years ago today that voters chose a new mayor and council for the city of Belleville. A major part of my campaign platform was to relocate the Belleville Ag Society and unlock the economic potential of the fairgrounds property for the benefit of both our city and the Ag Society. It was part of my vision of building our future together with safe, responsible growth, and demonstrates the success that comes by working together. There is still much more work that needs to be done, but today we can savor the moment to recognize that this is really a big deal. The positive results for our city will be seen for decades. As we've mentioned, there were a lot of obstacles and reasons that could have prevented us from making a deal. The easy thing was to throw up our hands and say it just wasn't possible. But I reminded myself of the words of one of my former bosses who often would speak about the unlikeliness of our country, Canada. Former Prime Minister Joe Clark would talk about all the reasons why Canada should have failed long before. Our difficult geography, multiple linguistic backgrounds, a sparse and spread out population, the fact that we're far from the rest of the world but close to the north-south pole of the United States, not to mention economic challenges and hardship due to a severe winter climate. All of these challenges presented enormous obstacles which continue to exist today. But as Mr. Clark would always remind us, Canadians don't give up when it's difficult. Now, there are many parallels between what Mr. Clark said about Canada and our relationship with the Belleville Agricultural Society. Over the past 200 years, there were many challenges for the Belleville Fair. The Upper and Lower Canadian rebellions, the founding of a new nation, the founding of the province of Ontario, global pandemics, financial depressions, world wars, the advent of new technology that changed farming, and the fact that Belleville has more of an urban makeup today than the rural world we lived in previously. Through all of those overwhelming challenges, the men and women of the Belleville Ag Society, along with residents, mayors, and city councils, didn't give up when it got difficult. Today's announcement shows that this has not changed. We won't give up now either. 200 years ago, the founders of that first fair in 1821 didn't know what the Belleville Fall Fair would become or would have to go through to get to where we are today. But they had faith that they should start it and see what would happen. Well, we don't know what 200 years from today will look like either, or what the city and the Ag Society will go through to get there. But we do know that milk will still come from cows, meat will still come from animals, we will still grow vegetables in our food, and we will need farmers and agriculture just as we need them today. The fair and the activities of the Ag Society are a celebration of all agricultural things in our community and are a celebration of our heritage. The BAS is a symbol of our pride in being a farming community. My council colleagues and I are proud of our role in ensuring this future remains bright here in Belleville, and we look forward to joining the Belleville Agricultural Society for the annual Fall Fair and Exposition at their new site in 2022. You know, we've had to weather quite the stormy year already in 2020. So days like today are paramount. What we have accomplished here has strengthened relationships, it has improved our city, and channeled our future in an extremely positive direction. There is a saying that talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. Well, today, we have won a championship. Thank you to everyone for making this possible.